as a kid, like, I wanted to break my arm to have a cast and get attention. I don't think that's normal. Hi, I'm Allison, and today I'm starting the conversation about Munchausen's by proxy. I shared a video about Munchausen Syndrome months and months ago, and I'll share that link in the description below. I think it's a pretty powerful video. I share a lot of potent thoughts and information and my own experience in it. And there's also a lot of really great feedback. People sharing their own story and connecting, knowing that they're not alone. So check that out and share your own story if you feel so obliged. And I hope to do the same sort of thing in this video, like share information, share my experience, and most of all create a space for you to share your thoughts as well. I'm kind of scared to share this video because there is some really extreme media on this subject, and my story is just not as extreme, and I don't want anyone to mistake this as like me condemning my mom for doing super awful things, because it's super subtle and it's all taken by different people in different ways. So I think I turned out all right. I can see how it affected my life, and honestly, now it's making me into a super optimal health advocate, and that's a good thing, you know, for me to be trying so hard to be as healthy and happy as I can be and trying to share that with the world. So all in all, I'm all right. Don't you worry. I just want to share like my thoughts. So Munchausen's by proxy is a factitious disorder. The person administering the by proxy projection of Munchausen's has Munchausen syndrome themselves, and it's pretty much where you're faking an illness to get attention. With Munchausen's by proxy, you're faking illness in someone else, usually your child, maybe your spouse, and you're doing it to receive attention from other people, like, oh, my kid is so sick, and receive attention and pity, and also maybe to be the hero, like, oh, my kid is sick, I'm going to save you, and, you know, get that trauma bond going with your child and like that attention and positive feedback from other people. I say this all with an air of like, how is that even possible? Because that's how I feel about it. I just can't believe Munchausen's exists and Munchausen's by proxy exists, and that these are the motives. Moving on to my experience. I'm going to start with just questioning my freaking birth. Yep, it goes that far back. So I was a C-section. The day I was born, my mom's mom was like, I'm in the hospital already, I'm gonna go see if I have cancer. Yeah, I don't understand, but apparently she got tested and confirmed that she has cancer. And my mom, I'm thinking, was like, the attention's not on me anymore, and said, I can't do this, like, give a natural birth, I need to have surgery. And so a C-section was performed to birth me and my twin sister. All speculation again, but like after 24 years I'm like, maybe that is what actually happened. Into more serious, like, this probably did happen thing, I had thyroid issues as an infant. I was very tiny, and I was actually born bigger than my twin sister, but then like didn't grow, and she like surpassed me in size over the next like 4 or 5 months. And then I continued to be a tiny person throughout my life, and when I was about 12, my mom and dad took me to a doctor to see if I could get on hormones. But the doctor said, you know, I am on the lower end of the percentiles as far as growth, but like I'm moving along at a steady rate in line with like how people usually grow, and I'm gonna be fine. But I think that was super unnecessary. Also, with size, I was always praised for how tiny I was. My mom would be like, you're the size of a toothpick and you're so skinny and so small, and it brought my attention to my size, and moving into puberty, it became a really unhealthy focus. And on the flip side, my older sister was sort of condemned for being fat when she wasn't fat. And I saw that that's like what not to do and this is what to do, and got all sorts messed up involving that. More substantial evidence of Munchausen's by proxy is that I had pneumonia every year for like 10 years. And after a while it became a source of bragging to my mom, like, my daughter has pneumonia again. We would go to the doctors and she'd be like, you know, she's starting to get symptoms and she gets pneumonia every year, so let's get her on medication before it gets worse, you know, and like keep me home and keep me rested. When, I don't know, like looking back, I think I got pneumonia once, and then it was something that like we could just return to and regurgitate and replicate. And my teachers, like, not in school, I don't know what my school teachers thought, but my dance teachers were all about like dedication, commitment, like showing up. They would get super frustrated with my consistent absences, and they could kind of tell that it was fake. They're like, no kid gets sick this often unless they had like an underlying immune problem. It would make me feel kind of bad, but also I was learning like, hey, I'm sick, I don't have to actually participate in things all the time, like I can just stay home from school. Later, when I got so exhausted mentally and physically, I would stay home from school just because I was like, I couldn't do it, and I knew that I could because my mom kind of encouraged me being ill. So I would get pneumonia often, and then I remember when the bird flu was going around, I had to wear a medical mask to dance, and not actually dance because my mom was like worried that I would get the bird flu. So I would just like sit in the corner with a medical mask on, and I was humiliated. And like, everyone else is just going about their life, and I'm over here like wearing a mask. This is ridiculous. And this was at the same time when I started recognizing that my mom had Munchausen's, although I didn't know what it was. Like I said in my last video about Munchausen's, one time my boyfriend at the time was over, and my mom fell down the stairs and was like, oh my god, I'm dying. And my boyfriend was like, we have to go help her. And I'm like, she's fine, like we don't have to help her, she's not actually hurt. And he was like, and I'm like, yeah. So I don't know, in high school I started to gain more of an awareness and like my own thought processes. I think before then I was like so wrapped up in enabling and trust that I just didn't question the things that were going on. Now to share about my sisters. This is all from my perspective. It's told from my point of view. I cannot speak for them. Just a little disclaimer before sharing anything. They were the scapegoats, lesser enablers, and definitely got this Munchausen's by proxy worse than I did. More so emotional and mental than physical. They were struggling with having a narcissistic parent and an alcoholic parent, and they had emotional and mental and spiritual issues because of that. But those issues were exacerbated and worsened by my mom and led to her getting them diagnosed with bipolar, borderline, and getting sent to rehabilitation centers and things like that. The very worst case of Munchausen's by proxy that happened, in my opinion, is my sister was abusing drugs, and she was losing weight and experiencing pain, or maybe just saying she was experiencing pain to acquire more drugs. And my mom sought out doctors to confirm that she had an autoimmune disorder like fibromyalgia to explain this weight loss and pain. When in my opinion, I was like, dude, she doesn't have an autoimmune disorder. She has a drug problem. Also, I don't even like know my sister's point of view about this, but like either she was factitiously pretending to have pain, you know, and like pretending to have an autoimmune thing, to, you know, whatever, or like she was convinced by my mom and scared that like she was ill when like there was something else going on. So like the effects it has on the kid is just sad. Also, I know that as a kid, like I wanted to break my arm to have a cast and get attention. I don't think that's normal. Like I remember someone did that and like I was jealous. And like when people, like I would want to get sick so I didn't have to go and do things, and just unhealthy things. So that's all I have to share today. I hope that I added value to your life in one way or another, whether by you hearing my story and being able to connect dots in your own life, or by creating a space for you to share your story with me and with others who may super benefit from hearing what you have to say. And I hope that you're doing well in your healing journey and that you are not giving up on yourself no matter what. No matter if things are going well or not so well, just don't give up, and I promise things will get better. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.